What is up, y'all? It is Dr. Tyler Kalasi, and today we are going to be talking about knee pain, specifically quad tendinitis pain, that area where your quad muscle, your thigh muscle meets the kneecap. Folks tend to get a lot of pain up in that area after they've newly introduced running or jumping, or recently increased their running mileage, or how much jumping they're doing because of a new sport or something of the like. Enjoy. So I've got my lovely girlfriend and fellow physical therapist, Dr. Courtney Wheeler here. Say hello, Courtney.
Hi there.
Courtney is dealing with her own quad tendinitis for a various amount of reasons. One of them being she's had 2 ACL repairs on one knee and has some limited knee flexion there. And there's some introduction of some newer activities resulting in some cranky quad tendon. So she'll be a good example because she can tell us how things feel, and you may be able to apply it to your own specific situation. So as I was saying before, quad tendinitis is irritation and inflammation at the tendon of the quad. Now, it's not to be mistaken with the patellar tendinitis. So we have the patella tendon, which connects the kneecap to the tibia. Then we have the quad tendon, which connects the quad to the kneecap. So this area is a common area for irritation and inflammation for folks who are reintroducing or doing a lot more running and jumping. We're going to go through 3 or 4 main exercises and concepts that you're going to want to use when you're trying to approach this quad tendinitis to get it to feel better. The 4 concepts that we're going to use to approach this quad tendinitis are very similar to the concepts that we use with most tendinitis, right? So the first one is going to be isometrics. The second one is going to be eccentrics. The third one is going to be higher volume or higher repetition strength work. And the last one is going to be extensive plyometrics. So isometrics simply means using a long, prolonged hold against resistance, and that's good for helping to reinitiate some sort of capacity or tolerance to weight and resistance. Eccentrics is when you go down slow. So think about a squat. I'm going to go down slow and then come up at a normal speed. Eccentrics are a great way to build up some good strength and also reduce pain similarly to isometrics. The third one is going to be higher volume or higher repetition strength work. This is a great way to, once again, initiate some good strength work, but also increase blood flow and perfusion to that area. Tendons tend to have a slightly less amount of blood vessels in the area, which means it's harder to get blood flow and good healing nutrients to that area. So when we use higher volume or higher repetition exercises, it takes a longer time, which allows the blood to really get into that area to help initiate or continue that healing process. The last thing is going to be extensive plyometrics. Extensive means a lot, or extending your tolerance to plyometrics. So this is going to be lighter jumps, sometimes using assistance, trying to build up 20, 40, 60 reps at a time to get her knees, her hips, and the tendons and joint structures around that area more tolerant to plyometrics so that we don't reinitiate some sort of irritation or inflammation. So the first concept we're going to use is isometrics. Like I had said before, isometrics are a great way to just initiate that strength training protocol and reduce some pain. There's actually literature out there that shows isometrics are a great way to reduce pain up to 1, 2, maybe 3 points, which allows you to do heavier and more intense strengthening down the road. So we don't have a knee extension machine. If you do, I would totally use one. We're just gonna use my own resistance. So Courtney's gonna bring her knee out to full extension. And if there was a machine, she would just use both legs to bring that machine up and then let go with one leg. So I'm going to apply resistance for about 10 seconds. And we want a hard enough resistance that it feels like an 8 out of 10, but it doesn't really increase your pain too much. So you hold for 10 seconds and then you would relax. And I would recommend somewhere between 4 to 6 reps of 10 seconds each, with about a 10-second rest in between. So now that we've done isometrics and initiated that strengthening, we're going to move on to eccentrics, which is a nice way to up the ante or up the intensity with the strengthening. Courtney, how does your knee feel after the isometrics?
Feels pretty good.
So isometrics don't really do too much irritation, but I will say eccentrics may create a little bit of irritation. It's okay if there's a slight increase, maybe 1 to 2 points out of 10 of irritation, but anything more than that, we want to reduce the weight. So eccentrics focuses on the down portion of the movement. And for Courtney, we're going to use kind of a one-legged down, two-legged up squat situation. But Courtney has quite a bit of irritation at her quad tendon, and if you do, I recommend using this technique. So we're going to actually go on one leg, but the other leg is going to have a kickstand support. So it takes a little bit of her weight, and so do the PVC pipes. So Courtney, go ahead and go down on one leg, and then when you stand up, you're gonna go up on two legs. So this focuses on the eccentric, the down portion, which has been shown to be really the key part of the strengthening for most movements. Go ahead and do that again. Going down on one leg, coming up on two. I would say somewhere between 6 to 8 reps here, trying to go down nice and slow, about 2 to 3 seconds, and keeping the pain level less than a 4 out of 10. That means if you can do it on one leg, great. If you have to reduce how intense it is by using some assistance or using the other leg to assist, I strongly recommend doing that. So the third concept that we're going to use is higher volume or higher rep strength work. This simply means working at 15, 20, 25, maybe even 30 reps at a time to try to increase blood flow around that tendon, because like I said before, tendons tend to have a smaller amount of blood vessels in the area. So when we work at higher volumes, it forces us to work for a longer period of time to allow that blood to get to the area and supply it with a lot of good nutrients that are going to help with healing. There's a lot of ways we can do this higher volume work. One of the great ways is sled walking, because there's multiple steps and we can use a time domain. So Courtney's gonna do a reverse sled walk, and I'm just gonna set the timer for 5 minutes, and she would essentially walk down and back for, like I said, about 5 minutes at a pretty light weight that she can tolerate with very minimal discomfort. So if you don't have access to a band or a sled or even a knee extension machine, but you still want to get access to some of these higher rep or higher volume exercises, the quadruped crawl or bear crawl is a great place to start. Set yourself up with 10 to 15 feet and crawl forward and backwards over the course of 30 to 45 seconds to build up a lot of reps and time under tension, which is going to help bring some good blood flow and nutrients to that quad tendon. So the last thing on our list was extensive plyometrics. Now we've done the isometrics, eccentrics, and higher volume or higher rep work, but it's time to get into a little bit of jumping, plyometrics. So Dr. Courtney, how long do you think someone should wait before they dig into some plyometrics if they're dealing with a quad tendonitis situation?
So I think it depends on their response and progression from the other 3 concepts, but my hope would be 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it always depends. And if you're looking for some sort of definitive timeline, we can't give that to you, but it's probably going to take at least a month, maybe 2 months of doing the other work to build up some resiliency and strength and capacity in that quad tendon before it's really able to handle a lot of intense plyometrics. Now, this extensive plyometric here that we're going to do, which is an assisted pogo jump, you could probably start that pretty soon, within the first month. We're going to do 20, 30, 40 reps at a time with a good amount of rest in between. Courtney's going to use the band to provide some assistance, basically reducing her body weight. And then she's going to do short jumps, maybe somewhere between 2 to 4 inches high, and allowing her knees and her ankles to bend to get a little absorption through those joints. Go ahead and take a rest. This is a great way to get that quad tendon used to higher volume impact, building up some capacity, building up some more strength, and hopefully reducing irritation with jumping so you can get back to running and jumping and whatever other field sports you were doing. All right, y'all. So we went through the 4 main concepts to use when addressing quadricep tendonitis: isometrics, eccentrics, higher rep or higher volume work, and extensive plyometrics. Courtney, how do you feel after going through all of that work?
So I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's a good start to the issues I'm experiencing.
It's a good start. So if you have quad tendonitis or pain at the top of the kneecap, I really suggest digging into some of this stuff. At the very least, get started with some isometrics and eccentrics. If you have questions about your own problem specifically, certainly comment below or shoot me a message. And if you're in the Denver area or Arvada area and you're looking for one-on-one personal training or really quality small group personal training, I suggest checking out Old Town Athlete. This is where I'm currently providing physical therapy services and where I'm filming all of this great content. Thanks, y'all. Have a good day.